Hello and welcome to the workshop. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you very, very much. If you are new here, Buckets, what should they do if this is their first time visiting La Channel?
Subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe to the channel. We upload a brand new sneaker video almost every single day. So if you love sneakers, you have come to the right place. You can also find me outside of YouTube on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Foamer Simpson. And if you enjoyed today's video, please do us a really big favor and hit that thumbs up button. It really does go a long way. So thank you for that. I got nothing else to add before we dive in here, Buckets. Anything from you?
No.
3, 2, 1, bang, bang. This is the Air Jordan 1 High Zoom Crater. These released earlier in the month and retail was $175. Now, if you tune in regularly, then you know how I feel about the Jordan 1 Zoom. They're just much more comfortable than a standard Jordan 1. So I, for one, no pun intended, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the Zoom. This pair kind of went unnoticed and underhyped, or maybe they're just the right hyped, depending on how you feel about them. Point being, it isn't some super sought after, hard to acquire sneaker. If you wanted a pair of these, you were probably able to get a pair of these. I think you can still find them for pretty much retail. In some sizes, they might even be under retail, which is kind of rare when it comes to Jordan 1s. I feel like most Jordan 1s that release have at least a little resale value to them. Anyway, these, not so much. But I did want to take a look at them because me personally, I think it's a pretty cool concept and it was a sneaker that caught my eye. Buckets, I'm not going to ask for your rating. Did these catch your eye?
No, not really.
Were you checking for these?
No.
Are you a fan of these?
I'll save my thoughts for later.
Okay, all right. Buckets is keeping it close, playing it close to the chest, as they say. Is that the phrase?
Yes.
Close to the chest. Okay. As far as these go, like I said, I do think it's a cool concept. They used recycled materials, which is dope. Yes, I do care about the environment. And I think anytime recycled materials are used, then it's a plus. It doesn't necessarily make a sneaker super dope, but it's definitely a plus. And it's something that we've seen a lot recently with all the space hippie stuff. And I think in general, they have done a really good job with all the different pairs. Now, as far as this particular colorway goes, black, wolf gray, and crimson. And the materials are dope too, not just in the concept of them. I think they're calling it space junk as far as the material, but it almost has a wool kind of look to it, but it feels more like a canvas to the touch. The swooshes have a felt vibe to them. Frankenstein stitching, as you can see. Same stitching along the heel in that bright crimson. More crimson on the tongue with the Zoom Air branding. Exposed edges along the top of the sneaker. By the way, I feel like it's almost become the cool thing to do to make fun of Virgil. And say what you want, but his influence is everywhere in sneakers. It's everywhere. I mean, these exposed edges, there's a lot of little details that you see all over the place, not just with Nike and Jordan brand, but across a bunch of different brands. Just the overall, that DIY aesthetic. I think you kind of got to give him credit for that, for bringing that to the mainstream sneaker realm, for lack of a better way to describe it. Buckets, do you agree with that?
I do.
There you go. Now, getting back to the sneaker, you also have a little Zoom tag, Wings logo on the side. Black laces with an extra crimson pair as well. Speckled midsole with that heavy confetti look on the outsole. These are dope. I understand they have zero, and I mean zero hype, and it's not the latest, most limited pair out there. There's no big name collaboration to market or push, but it is a Jordan 1, which is probably a top 5 sneaker of all time in my opinion. It is a very good colorway. It's a cool concept, and the Jordan 1 in general, it's a sneaker you can beat up. I talk about that all the time. I'm sure you've heard me say that before, but I feel like this whole recycled look makes it even more wearable than a normal Jordan 1 would be. I just think they're gonna look even better when you put a bunch of miles on them. And you know, materials play a big part in that for me. For example, a satin Jordan 1 isn't gonna wear as well as something like this. Certain materials, they just don't look as good when they crease up and when they really get worn. That's my opinion anyway. So I think this is a very, very wearable sneaker. On a scale of 1 to 10, man, I wanna say 7.5. But, 7.5, 8, kind of in between. I'll go 7.8 out of 10. I think it's a very good sneaker. I don't care that they're not hyped. It just goes to show you, and this is another thing that we talk about a lot, it doesn't have to be some super expensive sneaker to get a really dope pair. Just doesn't have to be that way. Now, sure, some of the really hyped up stuff is really dope, but it doesn't mean that it has to be that to be dope. Anyway, I feel like that's some sort of verbal algebraic equation. Buckets, are you following me?
I mean, I follow what you're saying, yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10, what say you?
5.
5 out of 10?
Don't like them at all.
Really?
Yeah, not at all.
So you kind of hit us with a little bit of an okie doke then, because earlier in the video when I asked you, you kind of were like, oh yeah, maybe I like it. You were baiting us.
No, not at all. I said I wasn't checking for them and they didn't catch my eye.
The old bait and switch uppercut.
No, I disagree.
5 out of 10. Okay. All right.
Could even be a 4.
4.
Yeah, could be.
All right. So Buckets, he's not a man who cares about the earth.
No, the thing is, I like the recycling aspect, but that doesn't mean it's a good sneaker.
Okay, point taken. That's fair. So colorway, not a fan.
Just like I don't like anything about them.
Okay, but Buckets is not into them. I am into them. Leave a comment below and let us know how you feel. What are your thoughts on this colorway, the concept, the Jordan 1 silhouette in general? How do you feel about any Jordan sneaker that's released this month? If you're not into this pair, what is a pair that you are checking for? Leave a comment below and let us know. Always love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. You are very, very appreciated. We will be back tomorrow, mañana. Same time, same place, right here at the workshop with a brand new sneaker for thy head top. I got nothing else, Buckets. Anything from you?
No.
Adios.